You ready? Okay, Brazos County Commissioners Court will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, September the 6th at 9 a.m. in the Commissioners Courtroom of the County Administration Building, 200 South Texas Avenue. The court will hear comments on a proposed budget for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2023. All interested parties are invited to attend said hearing and present their cause, if any, for or against the proposed budget. This budget will raise more total property taxes than last year's budget in the amount of $14,424,865, which is a 15.28% increase from last year's budget. Property tax revenue will be raised from the new property added to the tax rolls this year is $2,896,587. So the public, we're open for public comment at this time. If there's anyone, I don't think I had anybody that signed up for this part of the public meeting,
I
but
think
you're
there's
welcome.
someone standing
Well, there's
up.
somebody signed
They
up for the
said-
9:15 meeting, and I don't have anybody
That's
signed up
fine.
for this, but anybody's welcome to come up and sign a form. So we will wait till, I think the next public hearing is at 9:15, so we'll keep this one open just in case somebody walks in between now and then that would like to speak on the budget.
So that's the sitting, that's the sitting. It's full size sedan. it was gonna be this quiet, I thought, what is the rock book, easy for me to see.
I have the auto books on my phone. But I love those, but my eyes are so bad now.
I haven't gotten into audiobooks. I prefer to read.
I still do.
And I've got new glasses.
Yeah, but my eyes are so bad. My small print just gives me.
Well, I have to use magnifiers. I mean, that's what these are. These are just magnifiers.
I may have to get some, but now I got bifocals.
You have bifocals?
Bifocals. Been out of them for years.
Yeah.
But it's going so bad, and the small print and my magnified lens is not enough. The strength is
Put those on over your glasses. See how that works.
It would help.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. Very familiar.
Just get real big ones that you can put over when you're at home.
And you know, Karen released 10 those, and I still have like 15 pairs. Found every time you pass.
Oh, I got them all over my house, and they're never where I need them. There's 3 in the kitchen, but none in my office, or there's 4 in the bedroom, and none in the kitchen. I mean, it's, I got them all over the house, but never where I want. How's Carrie doing?
Just, trying to get her own job together. It's putting together a budget for the program. And writing some grant applications. So what did she have to say?
She said if they don't show it goes to no new revenue.
So we'll have to adopt it.
When's the last day we have to approve the budget? When's the last day we have to approve the budget? We might have to call a special, an emergency meeting.
All right, so we need to adjourn this public hearing and give. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. The Commissioners Court will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, September the 6th, 2022 at 9:15 for the Commissioners Courtroom in the County Administration Building, 200 South Texas Avenue, Suite 106. The court will hear comments on the proposed tax increase for 2022. Interested parties are invited to attend said hearing and present their cause, if any, for or against the tax increase for 2022. And I've had some who've asked to come up. Marcus Taylor.
How y'all doing?
Good.
Good morning.
I'm a recent newcomer to the area.
If you could speak into the
And-
microphone, please.
For y'all to have let the homeowners' taxes get to the point to where they are, y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself. And to raise it, you're definitely gonna price people out of their homes. And it's just unacceptable. I can't see how it's gotten to that point. Taxes here on homes are on par with New York and California. That, again, is unacceptable. That's pretty much all I had to say.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stacy Tiddenauer.
Good morning. Thank you for hearing our comments. I just want to say, as a homeowner and a home educator of my children, our home is very important to us, and how we conduct business in our home is very important to what we do every day. But the tax rate increases that we're facing, when I think about what my children are looking at, how are roads and bridges going to be paid for? Because we're spending out of beyond what we have, and yet still we're asking for more. And in our home, when we're looking at these increases that we're facing right now, you know, my grocery budget hasn't changed, the amount of money that I have, but the cost of everything has. And so my option there is to reduce and look for ways to save money. And I'm just opposed to these increases. I feel like they are just irresponsible to our taxpayers. We're taxing ourselves and our children out of the homes that they'll have in the future, their spending ability, their ability to educate their children. And I just ask you to reconsider.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jody.
I'm Jody Quimby. I live at 4686 River Garden Court. Our family's been here for many years. Appreciate the time to offer opinions, and many have been offered, not as many as I'd hoped, but I think the ones that have spoken from their heart. I'm speaking from my heart. And appraisals, as you know, are coupled with your tax rate, our tax rate. And some people may not understand that, but they need to if they don't. This publication, the notice in the paper on the 29th, Monday before the last meeting, outlined what you explained before the meeting started. And the decrease of 1 cent is going to raise over $14 million of additional revenue, as I understand from this notice. And to raise additional money beyond what you already have, not counting other revenue that is increasing, okay? Many folks are not aware of that. There's other revenue that's increasing here, not just that's collected from property tax. So you have the option of not increasing, or not, you have the option of decreasing the rate to where you would not have additional revenue. And that's an option for you here. As I mentioned last week, you've got expenses that we don't know anything about, but changing the way you operate can save some funds, and we would ask you to do that and have that in mind. We asked you last week to do that. I hope you talked about it and found some things that you could economize on. So last week, someone came, Ronnie Vituli mentioned to you that McLennan County has a much lower rate than we do, with similar population, similar business climate, and yet we're, I don't know, what was it, almost 10 cents more than them. Jay came and talked about how it affects lower income people. There's lower income people here who've had ag shacks built next to their house, and their property taxes have gone through the roof compared to what they used to have because of the appraisals. I'm aware of a retired couple in North Brazos County that had to just sell their property because they couldn't afford it. And that happened before all this came along. Every year that we've lived here, our taxes have gone up. Yours have too. You know, there's obvious reasons for that when there's more need for infrastructure in the county. But this next year could be another year of people being sick. Who knows? So if that does occur, then raising taxes is even insult to injury. Businesses that come here want to know that there's something consistent, and the tax rate is one of the things that they look at. When you consistently have to pay more tax, they think again about coming here. You have the option to reduce the rate at least close to the no new revenue rate, and I'm asking you to do that. That's within your power to do that, and everyone that I've seen come to the podium in this meeting and last meeting has asked you to do that. So please seriously consider that and hear us. Thanks for
Thank
you.
letting me speak.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jody.
Lamar Unco.
Okay. All right. My name is Lamar Onco, and I have lived in Brazos County since 1994. I've been a homeowner since 1999, and I've been a stay-at-home mom for the last 18 years. I'm also a home educator, like Stacy and Tana. I don't know everything about taxes. I won't even admit that I do. But I do know what affects my family, a single-income family. When families live on a budget, they notice when things go up. And although the Biden administration is trying to change the definition of a recession, the real definition is that every financial institution uses is that 2 consecutive quarters in decline of the gross domestic product. And we have had that. And most experts are saying that it's going to get worse before it's going to get better. So if all that's true, why in the world would we want to raise our property? Why would you want to raise our property taxes by 15.28%? When as Republicans, we should be lowering them. I'm sorry. Families are hurting, and this will just make them hurt more, not today, but next year. And a majority of the court also claims to be Republicans, and therefore we assume that you support and defend the Republican values of limited government, lower taxes, and debt. I vote Republican. As a Republican, this proposal is diametrically opposed to those values. I do not support or trust the leadership of those that we voted for as Republicans. But when they go against my party's values, it really frustrates me. I am opposed. I would like to see you, like Jody said, bring the tax rate closer to no new taxes. Again, I wish my husband was here to talk for you today because he's a financial advisor and he understands way more. But I know as a mom what hurts my family, and I feel like this is going to hurt our families. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you. That's the only one, those are the only ones that I've got signed in so far. Is there anybody else that wants to come up? So, let me share a little with my thought. You know, there are a lot of states, and I don't remember who came up and said that their property taxes were higher than they were in another state, but you know, there's 3 legs to the stool. That's what they always talk about: sales tax, income tax, and property tax. And most states have an income tax, which we don't have and I don't want. The problem with that is then that leaves revenue for governments to come off of property tax or sales tax. With the county, the sales tax that comes into the county is used to offset the tax rate. That's so that you don't raise taxes any more than what you have to. The difference between a city and a county, the county's revenue is dependent on property tax, much more than it is for cities. About 70% of a county's operations comes from property tax. With the city, it's more like 35%. So they do have a lot. I think you may have mentioned other sources of revenue. We have grants and all that are for specific projects. We have, some fines and fees, but they usually don't cover the cost of courts and all that are actually the actual cost of things. So there are different sources of revenue, but it's not like we don't sell any electricity, we don't sell any water, we don't sell any sewer. The counties don't, at least Brazos County and most counties don't have that option to be able to bring in other revenue. So 70% of our operations comes from property tax. I don't really like it. I pay a lot of property tax, but that is the choice. That's the way the state set it up. Is that we don't do income tax, and I don't want to do income tax, but it's with cities. With counties, it's basically property tax. So let's look at what the kind of things that we have to pay for. Our engineer has looked at road projects over the next 5 years, and she has estimated, and this was a year or two ago, before all the inflation set in. They estimated it right at $100 million of road projects that will need to happen over the next 5 years, some sooner rather than later. And so that's just one, and that's just roads that we recognize today. We've got roads out there that may not even be on our radar, but when a subdivision goes in and the traffic count that today may be insignificant may change. If you have an oil well that goes in and now they're taking water trucks and oil trucks and going up and down, I believe the number for a loaded 18-wheeler is the equivalent of 9,600 cars. So one loaded truck, you put an oil well on a road, and that road now is a major, as far as traffic impact, is a major problem. It tears roads up, and I don't know where any of you live. I live out in the county, and so I drive county roads all the time. It's nice to have seal-coated roads. There's a lot of roads we have not seal-coated because they really don't rise to the level of a need. But there are a lot of costs, and they continue to grow higher. And there's things that we, and the commissioner probably come up with other things, but I have things like, we've had discussions about mental health. I think everybody here knows that, all you got to do is look around, listen to the news, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's because of COVID, but it seems like it's risen to a much higher level. I think it's bigger than just a county, but if we don't look at trying to cooperate with, and I believe that the two cities, the university and the county, potentially could try to work together, and maybe a hospital could work together to try to come up with a way to improve the mental health, a deal with the mental health problem that's going on in our area. It really should be a statewide. It's more than just a county, but the way the counties deal with it, if a person is in a mental crisis and they break a law, they end up in the jail. If you can deal with people and try to deal with those mental problems before they ever get to that breaking the law, you may be able to not only keep them out of the jail, but keep them having to deal with them there. And that's the worst way in the world to have to deal with someone with a mental problem, is in a jail. It shouldn't happen, but that's the way things happen. We have the emergency management operations, which is a cooperation between the two cities, the county and the university, for emergency management. And then also we've talked about trying to combine that with 911 and dispatch. What happens in Brazos County and City of Bryan contract with 911 to do our dispatching. So when a call comes in, then if it's a City of Bryan or a Brazos County, those dispatchers are the ones that are dealing with it with law enforcement or fire. City of College Station has got their own dispatch. So if a call comes in for a City of College Station call, it goes to College Station and their dispatch is dealing with it, and the university has got one. We have had some preliminary discussions about trying to combine those and having one dispatch, which would be a huge improvement on public safety for everybody here, because when that call comes in and City of Bryan or Brazos County is dealing with it over here, there's not that connection between the two of them. I mean, they can call back and forth, but there's not that immediate connection so that one knows what the other is doing. There are a lot of things going on that take money. I mean, I'm sorry. I know I'm a taxpayer too, and I don't like it. I don't want the income tax. I mean, I'm opposed to that, but that's how a county operates. And I mean, what I see is if we're going to move forward and try to get some issues taken care of, it's going to take money. I mean, I'm sorry, it just will. And I understand, that I know for people over 65, the county gives a $75,000 homestead exemption up front. So if you're retired, and then of course it freezes. So if you're retired, you're getting some help. The younger homeowners, it's not. I mean, that's going to take state to make some changes in that to allow a bigger homestead exemption for somebody under 65. We can't just automatically go out and give some exemption. We just don't have that authority. And maybe this next year in the legislature, the legislature will deal with that and actually give some ability for counties and cities to give homestead more exemption for homes other than just over 65. There's just, I mean, I hear everybody here. I understand. I mean, I know, but I will tell you that there are issues out there that if we do what's been suggested and we go back to the no new revenue, well, things won't happen, and you may not really realize it until it just won't happen. There won't be money. We do have fund balance right now, and I think we could survive a year and get along, but at some point it's gonna all of those things that need to happen, that right now when we look with both cities, the university, we're all kind of on the same page about trying to get something done. And when the time's right, if you don't strike, it's gone and everybody's doing other things. With dispatch, the problem is, we've talked about it in the past over the last few years, and the problem was always that somebody had just bought a dispatching, I don't remember what they call it, but the program that gets all the law enforcement their information. And so when one buys this program and another one's on a different program, we've never been able to really hook those up at the same time. Right now, everybody's life on their programs is kind of running to an end, and I think there's a chance that we could do that, and there's certainly been discussion, but without money it won't happen, and I mean, maybe it's not an important thing. It's important to me. I see the safety factor, and I believe it will improve safety in not just outside of the city limits in Brazos County, but inside the city limits and on the university too. I mean, it really is a big deal. So I hear y'all. I just know that there are other things that are going on that And with everything, it takes money. And I hear everybody out here's got a budget and they're trying to pay for their food and their rent and their electricity. I hear it. But this difference is the average house in Brazos County is $305,000. The difference between the no new revenue and what we proposed, 48.35, is about $10 a month. That's what your taxes will increase with this 48.35 is $10 a month. I mean, I don't know. To me, I pay a lot of taxes, and I know my taxes are high. If you look at your tax bill, you will see that Brazos County's tax rate is the lowest of whether you're cities, schools, or whatever. I mean, the school districts certainly have double what the tax rate for counties and cities, and really that's a legislative portion too, because they're the ones that deal with how we fund public schools, and it's the property tax side of that equation has been going up, and other revenues that pay for public schools has stayed flat or gone down. So that's caused, if you're going to pay for schools, who's out there the easiest to get? It's property tax. I'll let my commissioners speak.
Yeah, I was going to say that if you look at your property tax bill, and I know it's high, about 60% of it goes to school districts, and the revenue that the schools are getting from the state has gone down significantly over the years, and maybe with this $27 billion surplus that they're projecting over the next 2 years, they'll fund schools at a higher rate, and the property tax rate from schools will go down. The county gets about 20% of your tax bill. And the 4835 is a forward-looking tax revenue for the county. We will fix roads. We'll pay for a salary increase for our employees that need it. We will be doing other things, roads and bridges that need doing. And the no new revenue rate will hamper the county. We will not be able to do the things we need to do, and we'll be strapped. We'll tighten our belt, but we'll put off things that need to be done. And deferred maintenance is just that. It's going to catch up later, and we might have to increase taxes, which we do not want to do. So this is a penny revenue decrease in the tax rate. I know it's not as much as many would like, but it is what it is, and I pay a lot of property taxes too, and I don't have any children in school, but I pay school taxes because I want to educate our young. So I'll let Ms. Cawley speak if she wishes.
I do appreciate all that have spoken, and we do hear you, and we respect your opinions. I especially can relate to the single income families because I'm one of those. I pay taxes here in Brazos County and have been here 40 plus years. I don't plan on going anywhere. But I need for those that are against raising or increasing or going over the no new revenue rate to understand this is a county. A county is much more than your home budgets, your food budgets. I mean, the services we provide, your health is your health care. Judge mentioned the mental health expense. All of these things the county takes care of, your sheriff department, that call that nobody wants to hear, the emergency responders. And just basically, I would like for those of you that are against us attempting to face the challenges that we have, to think about it. What service is out there that you could give up? Let us know. You know, you talk about not raising the tax rate, but that's the only income we have. When you pay a fee, the county does not get all of that money. It goes to the state. A lot of it goes to the state. What we receive is minimal. I have, in Precinct 4, I have roads. And as the judge has mentioned, we have the heavy oil trucks and the rigs that are going up. The damage to the roads are tremendous. There's no way we can do what needs to be done for all of Brazos County without increasing the amount that we take in. Even if we're just going to do what we did last year, it's going to take more tax money, because those expenses that you are sharing and suffering under, we do too. Materials cost more, equipment costs more, labor even costs more. And I hear the Republicans, and by the way, I am the only non-Republican here, but this is not a partisan situation. It's not that we're going to do it the Democrat way or the Republican way. We're trying very hard to serve all of Brazos County. And I do have to say, we work together usually very well, because we don't have single issues in mind. Our issue is what's best for Brazos County. I've been on this board for a while, and I want you to know I've never taken a stand for myself to increase or to highlight or to benefit the callers. It's all about Brazos County. And it continues to be that with most of my colleagues. I'd like for you to understand, the party politics is not in effect here. We're not trying to stick to any certain philosophy. The philosophy is we're trying to make the best decision for Brazos County. We're trying to do what best serves Brazos County. We have employees that, like you, are single income families that are having to work 2 and 3 jobs because the income from Brazos County does not sustain their family. Is that fair? Should we ignore them? We have the mental health and the regular health issues. We have to fund indigent health care. Everybody in Brazos County cannot afford insurance. You would think that they can, but that's not true. And whether we tend to believe or not, the facts are here. The facts are every day you read about incidents where people that needed mental health care didn't get it. Well, here in Brazos County, we're trying to make a difference for everybody. Your quality of life will increase if we can help everybody. You know, there are people that will say, well, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I'm here to tell you that there are people in our community that don't own boots. And I don't know what part of town you live in, but I see it every day. There is a responsibility that we have that's greater than any of us. And that responsibility weighs heavy on all of us. And I want you to understand, if you take a look closer, I believe you will see that we're not just, exercising power. It's not about that. We're trying to meet the needs. We're trying to provide for all of Brazos County the services. That's what the county does, providing services. As the judge said, we don't sell, we don't get sales tax. We can't. By law, we can't. And our forefathers set this up for special reasons. We have got to be accountable for one another. And I think it's important that we look beyond our personal situations and understand that, if we're not doing what we need to do now, we're going to pay more later. It doesn't, the cost, expenses don't go down, they go up. We tried to do a medical examiner's office about 10 years ago. Today, that same office is going to be twice as much as it was 10 years ago. We don't get a discount because we're Brazos County and we can't pay any more taxes. That's not it. So I asked you to be considerate. I asked you in your lessons to your children, examine your tax rates. Examine the expenses that, in particular, the county has to pay. And I think you'll find that you're getting a bargain. Sure, it hurts. It hurts me. But we have to do what we have to do. Simply because we live in the United States, in Texas, and we do have property owners, but we have so many people that don't and can't. And we will have to face it some way, somehow, and soon. So please be more open-minded. Look at the whole picture and not just that single view. Our sheriff's department wants and needs more personnel. It costs money. We can't keep deputies and officers if we don't meet what others are paying. Our people will leave Brazos County and go wherever the highest wages are. That makes sense. I can't fault them. Neither can we. And I will stop, but I do hope that you will take in mind what we've tried to explain to you. And again, you can always call your commissioner and speak to them directly. This is where the rubber meets the road in county government. That's where you have the power. But we have to do more with legislative power too. And I thank you all for listening. I thank you for sharing. But please try to understand no one here wants to raise taxes. Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody else that wants to speak?
I didn't sign up. Can I say something?
We recognize you.
Yeah, we can get you a form.
Come on up, Silas.
You can fill out the form after you speak.
Yeah.
I'm Silas Garrett, Brazos County resident. I live at 11272 Dillashaw Tap out in Curtin. We do appreciate everything that you do. The only thing that I guess the citizens, because I'm a local businessman, I own a couple of shops here in town, plus I own land, so I understand high taxes. And I know the Commissioner Court and the commissioners, they work diligently to try to keep whatever we have as tight as it can. I understand tremendously that prices are going up, that things are going higher. You know, I have family members that look at me and go, oh, well, you're the rich ogre that owns a business, so you can afford anything you want. It's not true. It's one of those things, and the county's the same way, is we have to live by what we got given to us. The only thing that we can ask the Commissioner's Court is to keep it as tight as they can, to keep their belt cinched up the way it's supposed to go. They're between a rock and a hard place. They want to appease people. You know, people want roads and they want, you know, their bridge fixed. They want this. That costs dollars. Well, if they only have $10 to work on $1 million project, it's not going to happen. They're going to push it down the road. They're going to push it down the road. Well, we have to understand that as long as they can do it as minimal as possible each year, the better off we're going to be, because we still want Brazos County to be the best. No, I don't want new taxes, because I pay out the wazoo on taxes, home and business. But it is what it is on some of this. I have to abide by what we got. And I do appreciate everything that y'all are trying to do, especially, you know what I'm saying, some of the new projects that are coming in, things that you want the county to have. But it's not just county. We got school, we got city, we got state, we got, you know what I'm saying, it's theirs. So I know the no new tax revenue that y'all were hoping to get, y'all were pretty close to what it is. I appreciate that. I wish y'all could find a little more, but you know what I'm saying, I'm a citizen that wants to be supportive of my commissioners, but let you know my view that, you know what I'm saying, taxes should be as low as they can. But we still need to work with what we have and work inside the budget that you can bring up. I know the budget was very tremendous and hard this year because of the different projects that are coming in, and for y'all to still step back a penny, you know what I'm saying, means a lot, saying that y'all actually looked at this harder than what some people view that they did. So, but I do appreciate it. I know y'all are between a rock and a hard place. I think y'all are doing a great job. And our two ladies up there are very, very pretty today. I don't know about you, Dwayne, but, but anyway, I do appreciate everything you do, and I appreciate it if y'all can just keep it as low as you can.
Thank you.
Thank you, Silas.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to come up and speak in the public forum? Well, if there's nobody else, I think we will adjourn then the public hearing. In 4 minutes or so, we'll start the Commissioner's Court. So public hearing portion of the meetings this morning will be adjourned. Thank you.
Text Wes in school.